your sincere comments. I do want to say a couple of things. I have never said that disagreeing is a bad thing. I have never said that differing ideas is a bad thing. I do take issue when a school board member calls other school board members lawless. It just gets my ire up, and it's personal, and I'm sorry I feel that way, but being called lawless because I have a different opinion and I'm trying to work toward different processes makes me very uncomfortable. When Ms. Donalds, at the May 12th meeting, you called others liars. That really bothered me personally. Because I have a differing opinion to the process doesn't mean that I'm a liar. That goes to the heart of my ethics and my values. Certainly, I respect different opinions. That I have a great deal of respect for, but when comments like this are made, it takes us away from the working together. And I felt like I had to make those comments. A couple of things that I heard, that active listening is critically important to us, that we should probably work together on the governance model in a workshop setting. Some have said with a facilitator, others have said perhaps not with a facilitator. But I did clearly hear that we'd like to move in that direction. I also very much like the idea of a self-evaluation come November, because I think there were particular areas on the evaluation that it was difficult for us to assess our team efforts here. And so I would certainly be in full agreement of revisiting the self-evaluation in November. So what I would like to suggest is a discussion moving forward whether we would like to put a workshop on the governance model on the July agenda for agreement, and also that we would place on the July agenda a self-evaluation in 6 months and see if we can't work together through this workshop process to identify the governance model and where we need to work more closely. And again, I don't mean that we need to agree upon issues, but I'd like to move forward, and so I'd like to see if we have consensus in doing so. Ms. Donalds?
I did have a comment about that, and I'm sorry I forgot to respond to that, about doing an evaluation in 6 months.
Sure.
I think it would be beneficial to pick maybe 10 of these that we would reevaluate. 34 is a lot. That's a lot of factors. I mean, I've heard people say, you know, if you have more than 10, you don't have any. It's just too many. So I think it would be beneficial for us to focus them. Also, there were quite a few of them focused on activities outside of board meetings, like with the media or speaking in other areas. I know a lot of that is about me. I've consulted with Mr. Fishbane. I did before I went and spoke in front of Marco City Council, and said exactly the words that he told me to say, so that I could speak there without an issue on my own. I know some board members don't agree with that practice, but I'm permitted to do it, I have the right to do it, and I'm going to do it. So if that's going to continue to be an evaluation issue, then, you know, hey, we can bring the whole thing down, or we can just agree on priority items that are going to help all of us work together, that are able to be changed, and work on those.
Let's put that in the parking lot for a moment and see if we can agree, number one, on a governance model workshop, and then on the evaluation. Okay, let's see if we can agree on those two items, and then we can come back to that issue if you don't mind. So,
sure.
Do I have your agreement that we should move forward?
Add the items to the agenda in July.
Okay. Ms. Sprague? Ms. Lichter?
Oh, I just was going to add, as far as the actual evaluation tool, and maybe Ms. Donalds addressed it with reducing the number, maybe 10, but I think we need to revamp this self-evaluation tool. I think it actually causes more of a divisive board, and I think we should take a look at this and condense it.
And let me go back to the governance model workshop and placing the self-evaluation, revisiting it in November. Just those two issues. Would you be in agreement with that, with putting those on the agenda in July? Thank you. And Mr. Terry, all right, so it appears that we have consensus. I would agree also that we place the governance model as a workshop on the July agenda. We can have further discussion about this, and that we also place the evaluation on the agenda for further discussion. Thank you all for your comments on this issue, and let's now move on to the next agenda item.